heels up and your toes down. And if you're not there yet, we'll get to that place because then that will help some those metatarsals of Lydia's. So again, just find a really good straight spine here. You all stacking those vertebrae, seeing if you can imagine how they look stacked one on top of the other. Taking a little bit of consciousness here in your core. And again, just think of it being a support system, thinking of you a little bit like a corset, right? So that you've got some strength there and some support that you're feeling. And if you pull in just a little bit of that navel point and sink down with your tailbone and up through your crown, that's going to release some of that pressure in your lumbar spine that you're feeling, Sherry. So again, sitting upright. When we go in and out from moving our spine in different directions, just pay attention to what feels good, what feels like maybe you don't want to go there, and be with the sensation and the communication that your body is telling you. So for now, just go ahead, maybe closing eyes. I'm going to try to speak loud enough. There's some really different birds here. I'm not sure what all they are, but they definitely like to sing their songs, right? Singing their song. Which reminds me of my little song about dancing to the beat of my own drum, singing the words to my own song, humming the tune of my choosing, and swaying all around because it moves me. That's what we want to do in our yoga practice, is do our own selves, okay? Be our own bodies. We're all so beautifully different and unique. Let's just cherish ourselves for that. Find 3 or 4 breaths where you find yourself lengthening up through your spine. Keeping that length as you exhale. Little birds. So go ahead and take your hands on down. Like you sit in that chair, lift the palms up, rise up, inhale. Maybe take a look upward and then pull those elbows down. Take a look forward as you come into your cactus arms. Let's let those elbows pull back just a bit. Again, holding in at your navel point so that we're not coming into a real arched lumbar spine. Take your hands and really extend those fingers out. And now pull one elbow down and lift the other one up. Lengthen. Come back into center. Take the other one up. Pull this one down, lengthen. Come on back. Inhale. Come to center, exhale. Inhale. Coming back down into center, exhale. One more side. Inhale up. Hold down on one side, lift, lengthen. Feel an increase maybe in the length, maybe in your depth. Back to here. Let's bring those arms together. Find your elbows together, find your forearms together, find your palms together, okay? So that we're right like this. Okay. Go ahead and lift those elbows up a little bit and then bow yourself forward with a straight spine, okay? No bowing into the head yet. Just straight spine, bowing forward, bring yourself back up all the time and maybe shifting elbows up, gaze up all the time here. Spending some consciousness with our core, lengthening through our spine, lifting up with an inhale, pressing hands gently and forearms together. Exhale, bowing down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bowing down. Are you starting to feel that maybe in your biceps, maybe your triceps? Let's do one more lift. And exhale forward. Just like those little toys that used to be, and then spread those arms back out. Inhale. And exhale, let's turn those fingers down, those little bobber toys that you'd see at bars sometimes, or they'd pick up a toothpick, pick it up for you. That's kind of like what we were. So here we are with our elbows bent, fingers down, and pulling back those shoulders. And let's take some circles this way, kind of a strange way to take some shoulder circles. But as we're doing this, we're getting into our trapezius muscles. Yeah, squeezing up there. We're getting up into our triceps as well. Following our breath. Let's take it and reverse that. Pull back, lift up, inhale. One more time. And then from here, still with fingers down, let's just do a few of these where you may start to feel it in your arms, right? In those biceps, maybe in those triceps. Yeah, in the shoulders. And exhale, release down, lift up, inhale. Nice. Exhale. Let's take right arm under left and just make that X. Okay. And then bring your arms up. Inhale. And exhale. Make the X with the left arm under whatever the opposite arm is. Taking elbows and letting them touch one another. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right under left. Back to an X. Left under right this time. Squeezing them together as we exhale. Inhale here. And now exhale, right under left. And bend hands to shoulders. Releasing, arms lift, inhale. So we're working our way slowly into left under right. This time, bend, press down into your shoulders. Slowly into our eagle arms, okay? Inhale. One more time each side like that. Let's cross right under left. Come here. Pull down. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Exhale here. Left under right. Finding our shoulders. Letting ourselves pull down. Arms out. Inhale. And bringing ourselves down right under left, cross, and then bring your arms up. Maybe your palms touch. Lift on up, inhale. Exhale, pull down into your navel. Let your chin come to your chest. Round now, round all the way down into that lumbar spine. But be conscious of everything you're doing here. Okay? And then rise up to straight spine. Lift up, look up. Let's exhale it down. Elbows to navel. Pull the shoulders down. Bring yourself up, inhale. And now shift your body towards the right. So you come into a bit of a twist here, okay? Then I'm going to pull down into my hip bone on that side, bowing down, forearms towards my thigh, pulling shoulders away from my ears. Bring myself up still in that sideways glance and then back to the center. Taking myself over to the other side. Find that twist right in through here, right? And lift up and pull down into your hip, that side. Let your heavy head go. Inhale, shifts you back up. Takes you to the center. Exhale takes you to the other side. Bowing down one more time on this side. Lifting up. Shifting through center to the other side, taking elbows to your hip. Exhale. Rise up. Back to center. Oh, release those arms. Take your arms up so that your wrists touch. And then release down. Do that other side in a second. Let's just let our arms float and flow a bit here. Coming in and out of our breath. One more here. Inhale. And then exhale. Left under right this time. Make your X rise up, inhale. Exhale, left under right. Make that X. Release and lift. Exhale, left under right. Bend into those elbows, pull those shoulders down. Exhale. Releasing, inhale, lift. Left under right to that X. Hands here. Let your shoulders pull down and your chin pull down, and then your arms release and float them up. And exhale. Left under right. Bending, finding forearms and palms. Lift up in. Exhale, take it in towards your navel. Chin comes down, shoulders come down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, into center. Take yourself up. Shift over to the left. Find that twist in your waist and exhale, elbows to knees. Rise up. Shift to center. Take it all the way over to the other hip. Bow down, exhale. Rise up on the inhale. Take it to center. Keep going. Exhale down. Inhale, brings me up. To the other side where I exhale down, elbow towards that hip. Rise up. Back to center. Let's release those arms. Come on up. This time palms touch. Take your hands down right above your head in prayer position. Then lift up. Exhale down. Lift up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Hands come all the way into heart center here. Let's press solidly between fingers and palms, feeling that energy pressing into these prayerful hands all the way through our arms and into our chest muscles there. And then exhale, release. Good. You guys are in a chair. I'm going to grab a little stool so that I can explain or do this. It looks a little bit more like you guys. Yeah, so we're sitting in a chair, and I think I'm still in the, yes. Okay, sitting up straight and tall here. And let's go ahead and work on those metatarsals a bit. So I'm going to take one foot over, I'm going to cross the other leg, and I want to just take some circles with my ankle, with kind of a pointed foot, right? Well, it's going to point, and it's going to flex, and it's going to point, it's going to flex. And you're going to feel that all the way through all of the muscles in your foot. And then reverse that. Nice. Ankle rotations will help our feet feel more free for movement. Good. And then from here, go ahead and let's slide the same hand down. So I cross my left foot over, so that left hand's going to slide down. The right one's going to slide up. I'm going to stay with a flexed foot. I'm going to come on down. Maybe you reach to your knee, your shin, your ankle, maybe to your foot. Okay, find where your grasp is, where the other hand comes to the side of your body. Press down and in as you come into a twist. Look over your shoulder. And then bringing myself back around. Slowly bring this arm back up. Bring my shoulders forward, my hips forward. And then take this foot right up, ankle right behind my knee here, into this figure four. And if, again, that's not available for you, then just slip that foot down or onto a block. And from here, let's just take our hands. I'm going to go ahead and de-shoe and de-sock myself. And let's just give ourselves a nice little foot massage there. Okay, getting into the bottom of my foot, getting into the top, right? Feeling in between all those little bones, those little tendons, those little ligaments, everything we have there. It's such a delicate part of our body, yet it is one of the strongest parts of our body, right? The part of our body that connects to the earth. How many times a day, you know? You guys that wear those monitors on how many steps you take will be more aware of that than I am. But just go and give your foot a little bit of love. How much in our day do we take our time to do something like this? Good. And then sitting up here, we're going to do a little bit of cat and cow in this figure 4, so we can feel it back into this hip. So just be cautious, Lori. See if this is a good hip feeling for you, or if it's not, then take your foot out of figure 4 back to crossing, or just your foot on the ground, okay? So from here, I'm gonna hold on. This is gonna be my leverage. I'm gonna pull my heart forward, and I'm gonna look up, inhale. And I've got a flexed foot when I do this. And now I'm going to point that foot or push through the ball of that foot and exhale, curling into myself, bringing my shoulders away from my ears, really letting my head drop. Coming in again to either point or the ball of the foot extended, and then rise up and flex into that foot again. Let my heart lift as my gaze does and my chin does and my throat opens here. And then exhale, curl tuck round into that pointed foot or pointed ball of the foot. Keep going here. And we're just adding that little bit of foot coordination with each time we lift up. And each time we pull ourselves into our own energy field. 2 more. So we're getting into the spine here, into the hip, into the foot, into these areas that you guys were wanting and needing attention. So good. All right, let's go ahead and let this foot come on down. Go ahead and de-sock and de-shoe myself on that side. And let's go ahead and take a cross here again on opposite leg. So that's my right one, whichever one you didn't do. And let's take some nice circles with that ankle and with your foot, feeling into all of those parts, those moving parts of our foot that, again, do so much for us, right? All of our body does, but it's just coming into appreciation for them. We had a gentleman in our program, lifestyle program and patient, who just had a stroke, and he's well enough, let's reverse that he's able to text. So I've been texting him, and he said that this was something that helped him appreciate normalcy, right? So what we have that's our normal life that sometimes we take for granted, he's finding a good appreciation for that. And then go ahead and slide that ankle up. Find your hands appreciating your foot. Giving yourself some love here. Yeah, so last week we had a great road trip, but we were in snow. We were up in southern Colorado, and so it's real different than being here in Scottsdale now. We came home for 2 nights and a day, and then left again. So trying to work our little time in with when we have dog sitters available. So taking attention to those toes too. I know I'm looking at mine saying, oh, you need to trim those toenails. Don't pay attention to them like I need and want to. All right, good. And then sitting up straight and tall, finding that flex in your foot as we hold on to our shin. And we pull forward with our heart space, bending into our elbows, lifting, looking, inhaling. And then pushing through, toes or the ball of my foot, and exhaling, curl and tuck and round. Keep going with that coordination of your foot movement with your spine. Shoulders pull down away from you each time. Even when you curl, tuck round, pull the shoulders down. Even when you come up with your heart space, pull those shoulders down. And if, like me, you forgot about your foot, you might add that again. And it's just another good thing to just attend to, that ankle and all of the inner workings of your foot. One more round here, please. And then coming back into center. Let's go ahead and let that foot come down. Let's take our feet apart, put our knees together, come to the insides of your feet, and just feel yourself coming into that internal rotation. You know, when I first started taking yoga training to be a teacher, they kept talking about internal, external rotation, and I just didn't quite get it right away, but I get it now. And so I keep repeating that a lot so that hopefully you guys will get that too. And how important it is, just like moving our foot in all kinds of directions, is to get those hips to move in all kinds of directions too. And this internal rotation is one that we don't get very often, okay? You can lay down on your bed or on the ground, and you can do the same thing. Attend to your knees together and put your feet about mat's distance. And that is also a nice way to relax, restore, and get that internal rotation. All right, from here, go ahead and send one knee over and the other one down, okay? So we're gonna have a little bit of movement here. Coming back to the center, and then go ahead and come with knee down, other one opens, come back to the center. One more time each side. And I'm on a really hard surface here, so I'm gonna not do a whole lot of this on here. There you go. And then go ahead and open up and toes out, heels in, and let's take some circles, right, with our torso. And coming around here, feeling that into our hip, right? Our hips aren't really moving here, but they're getting the benefit in that upper region of our torso moving. Okay, so we are definitely in external rotation now, right? And as you do this, maintain that corset effect in your abdominal area so that you feel really strong. Even when you let your weight come forward and you take it back, you're in control, okay? Go ahead and go around in the opposite way. This just is another kind of, for me at least, feel good motion. I like to stand up and do this also. When you stand up and do it, you can get more into the hips too. And then bring yourself back up. And again, with our feet, ankle and knee in position one another for good alignment, and open up to a place where we feel that in our glutes. We got to work to keep them open because they want to go like that. Because when I go like that, I'm not engaging anything here. Okay, and there's time to do that. Right now, let's find some engagement. Okay, and press down into the earth with your feet. Those of you that get the daily Om, and if you don't, I would suggest you look into it. It's free. it meets you and greets you every day. And they have something different that they say. Today was about letting anger and negative emotions go into the earth through what we touch the earth with. So right now we're letting it come through our feet. Anything that isn't serving our purpose for betterment, let it go, because the earth will take it. So feel connected there with your feet on the earth. And let's take a little slide down and up. Okay, come on up. Exhale down. Inhale back to center. Exhale, let yourself flow down and lift up. Okay. Movement with breath. Meditative movement with breath. Moving meditation. Feeling maybe a little more opening, length, and depth. One more set, please. Good, and coming back here, let's walk our feet in. We're gonna go back there, but let's walk them all the way in so that from our inside of our feet all the way up, we're feeling like we're zipped together here, okay? And from here, take your arms out to the side, take your body over to one side, feel that in your waist. Come on back into center, take yourself over to the other side. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Your attention to the earth plane. One more set. Good. Arms come down. And then let's go ahead and take a hold of that front leg of the chair. Let's keep our legs still squeezed together. We're going to take that opposite effect here, that duality in a bit. But let's kind of keep them together now. And we're kind of internally rotating here. One hand down the leg of your chair or stool, other arm up, and take yourself over. I can just go so far today before I fall out of this little stool. Take yourself over, feel that lengthening. And then bring yourself up, feel this lengthening. And then take your arm on down. This arm rises up. Attaches to that front of your chair. Come on over. Feel your lengthening. Feel you're balanced. Feel your feet on the earth. Lengthen a little bit more with your breath. And bring yourself up. Exhale. All right, so just kind of getting that idea. As our legs are zipped up, we have that bit of internal rotation. Now I'm going to take them into a neutral position. So Lori, with your hips, just see what feels good. See what feels like it's releasing. To feel good, to internally rotate, to be more neutral, to externally rotate. I suggest being as symmetrical as you can with your body, okay? So from here now, let's do a little bit, and then we will move into opening up again. So let's go ahead, take one arm, place it over, hand on one side, elbow on the other side, okay? And then take your other hand onto the chair behind you, pushing down or holding on. And let's take a twist. Press down with more arms, open up your heart space. Getting into the internal digestive organs there. And bringing myself back around slowly, coming straight with my spine, nice and long. Then I'm going to go ahead and place elbow down, hand down, other hand, it can stay here. It can come behind you, wrap around, press down, or pull on that chair seat and let yourself be leveraged back, okay? And the cactus around here are so beautiful. It's amazing. Love cactus, and these just grow like monsters here. friendly monsters. Let's get you close. And then go ahead and start to bring yourself out of that twist. Good. Arms lift up, inhale. Attach to one wrist, push away. And let's do some circles here, okay? Again, for our waistline. I remember Josephine when she first started and I said waistline. She says, I haven't had a waistline for a long time. So cute. She has friends visiting now from Chile. So that's why she's not here. Let's go around in the opposite way. She was you guys might know this, Peace Corps volunteer in Chile. So we have a commonality of Chile. So I lived there for a year. I wasn't in the Peace Corps, but it's probably one of the best years of my life. Bring yourself back up, arms lengthen, look, hands come down, exhale. Good. And now let's go ahead back to the more broader stance, okay? And find yourself, heels in, toes out, arms lift, inhale. Exhale, come into cactus arms, goddess. Any of you that want can take this to your feet if you like. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull down, goddess, press into the earth. Open up through your heart, lift. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, lift. Lengthen both sides, fingers open up, and then bring yourself into cactus arms. Open up. Lift up here. Exhale, hands come down onto your knees. And from here, come on down to forearm on that side. Slide that arm all the way over. And let's come into extended side angle here. Knee is bent, long length on the side of our body. And let's take some circles with that upper arm. Let's free it out of its socket there. And let it go. Let it whip around. And let's go in that opposite direction. And send it back over, bicep by your ear. And then bring yourself up, both arms extending outward. And then let's come on to the other side. Forearm on your thigh, bending into that elbow. Send that other arm over, bicep by your ear, pressing into the earth, right, with your feet. Finding that length in the side body. Finding your breath. And then let's release. Coming around and around. There she stops. Nobody knows. And then reverse. So either clockwise or counterclockwise. The longest time that never made sense to me. Got it. Nothing too righty tighty thing. Help me to bring yourself over. Yeah. Good. Stretch. So up, both arms come out. Let's take them behind us. Interlace. Let's let our feet take to the earth. Squeeze shoulders down and together. Pulling down hands. Lifting up chin. Letting heart come forward. Still finding that corset in our abdominal area, okay? To keep support in that lumbar spine. Nice. And then bringing yourself back up. Release those arms. And let's heel toe those feet back in. So that we're seated in mountain pose for just a bit here. Take a few breaths. And we're going to go from mountain into tree pose. This is seated tree. On Thursday, when we do our balancing, our stretching and strengthening class, we're going to practice more of tree pose with a little more balance effects than sitting in the chair. We'll use the chair or wall or something to help support us. But to get the idea of what tree is about, seated is okay too, right? We open up, we externally rotate one side of our body, the other takes the weight. So make sure this foot still is grounded. We come up onto the ball of the foot, knee out, hip open, okay? And this could be your tree when you're standing and practicing balancing, because it's not easy to stand yourself up and balance on your big toe, okay? That's balancing. So this could be tree right here. You can take that foot, slide it into the other foot, and we've now really challenged our balance more, even though that toe is still grounded, okay? Still feel lifting coming up here to the crown of your head. The other place to take that foot is on your calf, okay? You can take it to the inside of your thigh. And if you're standing or seated, you can hold on to that ankle or foot and lift up here. The other place, if you're standing or seated, to take your tree would be to lift that foot up close to your hip. You may not want to go here, you guys, just showing you. You can see the sole of your foot here, okay? You really want to be protective of your knee and your hip. If you're doing this, make sure it's in your practice. It's good for you, okay? But these are all options. And your hands stay here, or one hand would be on a chair or a wall. And the nice thing about practicing with those is you can continue to play with these different positions, okay? And then you can also take and distribute your arms and open them up. In a chair, we can have some free movement with this. Standing up, you're going to notice that your balance is going to really shift, okay, when you start to move. So generally we find some nice stillness in our tree pose, but it's nice to be playful and to be in our chairs and be able to do that. And then from here, taking hands here to your heart space. Now, those of you that would like, you can take your peace fingers to your big toe, and maybe your foot is down farther, and that's okay. Taking the fingers to the big toe, take your hand onto your thigh or maybe onto your chair, and see if you can lift that foot away from it being supported anywhere. This is another practice that if you're in tree, you can try. All right, once you get to that place to really start to balance, and you just start to maybe just find where your arm length and your foot or leg are willing and wanting to go, and maybe start to open that to your place, right? And maybe with this balancing, stretching and strengthening class, you guys will be standing on one foot, holding the other leg up with your arm like this, right? Maybe not, but that's okay. We can at least practice those different stages seated in the chair so that we know where we can go and grow in our standing practice, okay? So go ahead and place that foot down and just windshield wiper my hips right now, because one hip was doing one thing, one was doing the other. So I just want to bring them back into a state of neutrality. Good. And then finding mountain. Anytime we're working into balancing, we want to be in a good mountain pose to begin with. Even though the chair is not taking us out of our balance so much, it's still a really good practice to start there. And then I'm going to open up the opposite hip, open up the opposite foot, knee, okay? And my coming up to maybe the toe or the ball of that foot, and hands can come here, okay? This would be your first step, and maybe a hand would be on the chair, right? So whatever you would need in your balancing for tree, but this would be one step, bringing that foot in, okay? So it comes into the center is going to shift your weight if you're, again, not seated in the chair. So we're here. Another option would be to bring that foot up to your calf. We don't ever take it to the knee standing. You could take it to the knee now, it's not going to be a problem. But standing, we start to press in it, and the knee's not meant to go that way, right? Maybe you want to take it here, and you hold on here, hand is here. Or when you're standing, you'd have to press this foot into the thigh to keep it there. Only if it feels right to you. And again, stay in any of these positions. I just want to show you what your possibilities are if you ever decide you want to go there. And your foot, I can see it. This one though, be cautious on the knee, always. Okay. Here we are. Just grow those branches wherever your foot is. Okay. Be where you find your comfort, your stability as a tree. Because once you're stable as that tree, then you can begin to flow with the wind. Okay. Been through some really windy areas in our travels. We were around the Great Sand Dunes, and the Great Sand Dunes are there because of that wind and that beautiful Sangre de Cristo Valley area. Went to San Luis. Oh, it was a great little trip. And here we are, taking our hands back into heart center and taking peace fingers to big toe. Even that big toe's down there. Just grab it, see about taking it off or away from the other leg. And again, we could be right down here, right? And just working to see where that hip wants to go, where that knee wants to go, where that foot wants to go, where that leg wants to go, and find ourselves maybe taking that other arm out. Even if I'm down here, can I take and extend this arm out or keep it here at heart center, expressing myself in my tree in whatever way feels right for me. Feeling nice and stable in that chair. And then bringing that leg in, letting it come down, letting myself open and close here. Maybe doing that Charleston. This is good for the brain, crossing over the center line and reversing. Good. All right. Great. Let's do a little bit of warrior. Okay. So I'm going to come over to the side with one leg, and the other one, I'm going to let that knee drop down onto block or take that foot behind me. Okay, because we're going to go into warrior one. If we were doing warrior two, we could just stay like this. All right, but let's go ahead and either let that knee drop so the hip comes forward, and you can just dangle, or you can have it on a block, or you can take that leg back and then work into your hip flexor here. Okay, and I can take my hands on that front thigh, kind of press there, and that lifts my chest up. That lifts my vertebral spine up a bit, so that my vertebrae are not sitting on one another. They can really enrich and lengthen themselves here. So shoulders are forward, hips are forward for warrior one. Arms lift up, inhale. Lengthen both sides, pull down into cactus arms. Open up your heart. Rise up. Exhale, take it down. Express yourself. Inhale up. Same arm as that leg that's back. Comes to that back leg, slides down. The other arm reaches upward. And then we rise back to perpendicular spine. The other hand comes up, both arms up. Take that opposite hand back down onto the chair, your stool, wrap around your waist somewhere, and express to your heart. Good. Take yourself up, both arms. And from here, arms are up. Let's take our gaze to the side. And then take yourself back. Take yourself to twist to the other side. Bring your arms up, inhale. And let's take 2 cactus here. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, take it down. Good. Arms come down. Take your hands behind you. Interlace. Push down. Squeeze those shoulders together. Let your heart be happy. And rising on up. Release. One more time, lift. 2 more times, cactus. And hands down. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring it in that extended leg, or maybe it was bent, and then come to that foot. Bring myself around so that I'm centered first before I go to the other side. Let me do 2 sets of cow and cat, okay? Inhale and exhale. Really good for that lumbar spine, okay, Sherry? Inhale and exhale. And bring yourself up. Let's take ourselves into warrior 1 on the other side. So my leg comes over, knee and ankle, pay attention to one another. Other knee drops down straight out of my hips so that my hips are forward. And I can have that knee resting on a block, or I can extend it back onto the ball of my foot. Okay? Pushing through my heel, feeling that in those metatarsals, okay? But making sure that feels good for what you're doing. Everything forward, shoulders and hips. Rise up, inhale. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen again. Nice big inhale. Exhale, pull down, bust open through your heart. Elbows down, lift and look. Forward, pull down, lift and look up. Exhale. Coming back to long here. And the same arm is that hand that's the leg that's back. Take it and slide it back along there. Wrap it around you. Find your heart lifting up. Find your gaze. And then back to perpendicular spine. Arm lifts and taking the other arm back onto your chair. Okay, wrap it around you or onto your chair. Press down. Open your heart. Look up, and you're pressing into your knee on the block, the ball of your foot on that extended back leg. Your front foot is alive with action, sending energy into the earth. Coming up, both arms rise, pull down into cactus, rise up, pull down into cactus, rise up. Turning my body towards you. Find that twist. Take my body back forward. And then turning my body away from you. Finding that twist. Bringing myself back forward. Lift 2 times cactus. Rising up. Arms come back, interlace in that opposite way. Push down, shoulders squeeze, lift, look, smile. Rising up our gaze towards the sky. Beautiful, then send yourself upright. Those arms. 1 more time, lifting arms. 2 more times into cactus. Rising up. Exhale, hands come down. Knee comes back to bend if it was straightened. Let your both feet come to the earth. Let your body come back forward. Let's sit in mountain and breathe. It was a good, strong practice. Even though we stayed in our chairs that whole time, you guys really did a lot today. So thank you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for just being the best that you can be for yourselves and for each other. Arms lift up high. Taking hands to heart center. I honor the place in you where the universe dwells. I honor that place in you where there is love and light and peace and joy. For when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one and we are connected. We are sisters, this beautiful planet, having and forming a beautiful community. From my heart